Hey everyone, I am Samantha Tiara and we are back. We are here live in Indianapolis. I have with me the famed casting director, Rhavynn. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am doing well. It's pretty hot in Indy, but hopefully it's Atlanta this hot right now?
Oh, trust me, this is actually a nice, moderate day for Atlanta. I left, it was like 95 degrees. So
I'll stay in the Midwest then. All right, so the whole purpose of us being here today is a acting technique workshop.
Yes.
For auditions in specific. So let's talk a little bit about that. You've actually got your start working with Tyler Perry, and then you've gone on to do some amazing things. Tell our viewers a little bit about, how you got started in the casting industry.
Yeah, well, I was a drama major in college and didn't really know what I wanted to do with that, but loved acting and love actors. So I ended up getting an internship at Tyler Perry Studios where I worked for 4 years. I worked as a casting assistant. And I really just got a chance to kind of sit and watch and watch performances. And it really just came from a love of performance. So I've been doing it now for like 12 years, which I'm like, when did that happen? But I've been doing it for 12 years, and I've just seen so many different people and actors that give me like great performances. So I try to help actors who are either just getting started or want to find ways to go to the next level in their careers.
That's awesome. And I guess that's a testament to say the time flies when you're having fun if it's been 12 years. So you cast for theater, film, television. So from your perspective, what would you say is the difference between the three? Like as a casting director, what do you look for?
Oh, that's a good question. There are many differences. I think theater tends, for a theatrical performance, you have to perform to an audience. You have to perform to a stage of an audience of like hundreds or thousands. And so sometimes your performance may be a little different because you have to make sure the person in the very, last row feels what you're feeling versus, I'll put film and television into one category, but oftentimes it's a lot more intimate. It's even vocally, so you don't have to perform for an audience. You just have to perform for like the one person that may be in your scene. And it's interesting finding actors making that transition from either theater to film or film to theater and seeing how they adjust to emotionally, how they have to translate, okay, now I don't have to be as big. I can find a lot of subtler ways of doing the same thing.
That's awesome. Now, do you have a preference? Do you prefer to cast for theater or film or television? Or are you just kind of open?
I am a theater nerd.
Okay, good.
Musical theater, I am a theater nerd. So I love, love, love theater. And I actually don't get to cast for theater as much as I would like to. Like 90% of my time I'm casting film and television, which is wonderful. But I would love to cast a musical. Love to cast a musical. So I just, I wish I did it more.
So another quick fun question. So you say you're a theater nerd. What is your favorite theatrical production or musical?
Oh gosh. There's so many. I'm still listening to Hamilton. It's been like 5 years. I would say, honestly, one of my absolute favorite theatrical productions is probably The Wiz, just because I feel like it was the first project that really, as a child, maybe think maybe this is something I want to do, But so The Wiz has to be one of my projects that's my favorite because it just felt like the first one that I saw brown people singing and dancing, and I'm like, oh, there's something in there that I think I want to do too. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, to put a quick shameless plug here, there is an Indianapolis group of individuals here that will be doing The Wiz this fall. So you may have to come back. It's by Katie Did Productions. So shout out to Duchess Duvall and Kyla Adams. So I just had to put that out there since you said The Wiz. So you may have to come back this fall.
I will go anywhere to hear home. So yeah, you name it. I would love to. That's amazing. Yeah.
So we will make sure that Rhavynn is in the building. You heard it here first.
Invite, please send me my invite. Yeah.
That's great. So let's get a little bit back to the workshop. So tell us a little bit about what you did throughout the day. What are some of the workshops that you hosted or advice you gave?
Yeah, well, I like to break it down first because I know of a lot of workshops you kind of just jump right into performing, but I want to give actors tools before we actually get up and perform. So I go through the process of getting an audition, breaking down your script, doing your character development and researching the project, making choices. We watch a couple of auditions, and I'll say like, okay, so who would you cast and things like that. So I want to give you the tools, and then we go through like a mock performance where I try to treat it like it's an audition. So you go up there and you perform as if you were auditioning for a project, and then I'll give you some feedback on it.
My name goes above the billing. Where else? And I get a star's dressing room. This is not even a question. I choose the lead. Yep. Okay, fine. It's not exactly a glamorous role, but I guess I could talk to David. He'd look over the script. Gosh, I can do something to brighten her up. Why am I nervous?
I love how you owned it. Like, I love how it was like, no, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do it. Like, you owned it, Tyler Perry was in there. Like, I love that. I love that, like, was it perfect? No, but you made a strong choice. Like, I feel like, yes, like, she's someone I can work with and mold and adjust and give her something else. And great job of committing.
And it's great because as a casting director, I don't have the time to actually give feedback. I'm watching hundreds of auditions, or I'm seeing people in person. I don't have a chance to say, like, this is what you did really well, and this is what you could work on. So this gives me the opportunity to meet actors and say, like, okay, here are some areas where we can make this audition stronger.
Awesome. Now, as a casting director, I'm sure you've seen a lot. I'm sure you've probably heard a lot. For those watching that are, new to the industry, what would you say are some do's and don'ts of going into an audition?
When you're going to an in-person audition, do be confident. Do be prepared. Do make a bold choice. And when I say bold, I don't mean a big choice, but I mean make a bold choice, make a confident choice. One of my biggest pet peeves is when an actor says, like, they'll do an audition and then they say, like, is that what you wanted? And I'm like, I want you as the actor to bring your best artistic self and preparation to the audition. Like, I want to see what you've prepared instead of trying to get in my head and think what I want. So I'd say, like, be confident in the choices that you make. Understand that you are the professional, and we're all, like me as a casting director, the writer, the director, producers, we are dependent on your creative gift.
That's a great point. Now, to those that are watching that may, be interested in getting into the industry as the casting director, what advice would you give to those up and coming individuals?
People interested in working in casting? Ooh, the thing is that there's like no school, there's no formula, but I think one of the things that's important is that you love and can recognize a good performance. So first, I would say just start watching films. I would actually take every single actor that's won Best Performance in the Academy Award and watch their performance of the film. Watch, okay, like, what did they do that got them to this place where they won? Then, if whatever area that you're in, if you can find a casting director, we all need help. So saying, hey, I'm interested in learning more about casting. Do you mind if I shadow you, or can I just give you like one day of help? Can I help you file whatever it is? Or can I just sit in the audition room with you and see what you do? But that's a really, really great way to get started if you're interested in casting.
That's a great point. And to go back to, talking about how you got your start as an intern. So people are always, like, oh, I don't want to do an internship, but those are some of the most wonderful experiences ever. So, and she's proof of it. So here you go. So acting workshops. So, what other workshops do you have coming up? Maybe that's in Atlanta or other cities that you may be a part of.
That's a great question. I'm actually trying to figure that out now. And sometimes, like, when we get busy with a project, I don't have as much time to kind of step away. But I am doing one in Orlando next week, actually, a week from today. And then I'll be posting one that I'm going to be doing in Atlanta probably in the fall.
Awesome. Now, last question for you. Tell our viewers a little bit about some of the projects that you've casted for.
Yes, I have been working with Tyler Perry Studios for 12 years, literally. And I've had the pleasure of casting projects like The Have and Have Nots, If Loving You Is Wrong, Love Thy Neighbor, the films that we've done, Medea films. But I've also worked in some freelance work as well. We did season 1 of Step Up High Water on YouTube Red. We cast a Nike commercial. We've worked on some pilots and some independent films as well.
That's great. And, going back, to you working with Mr. Perry, I'm sure you've learned a lot from him. What was your experience like?
Goodness.
He just won a Lifetime Achievement Award on the BET Awards. So I'm sure you've learned a lot from him.
I think I posted on Instagram recently that driving into the studio every day feels like I'm like walking in a manifestation of faith. It's this beautiful, like I feel like I where I go to work is like this physical existence that like God is real. Because like it's incredible to see, his own journey. So for me, I am constantly inspired. The building that I work in the Dream Building. It inspires me. The fact that I have the opportunity to work with actors and under a producer, that's literally created an empire from nothing is inspiring. So I am inspired daily to fulfill my dreams and purpose, and to work hard. So the best thing is like, just continuing to do it, continuing to keep on working in the gifts that, God's given you.
That's great. And you've certainly inspired me. So last thing, where can our viewers follow you, stay in contact with you at?
I have a website, which is ravendrummer.com, but I'm also on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram is at Rhavynn, and my name is spelled a little different, but it's RHAVYNN. So I'm mainly on Instagram more than Facebook, but if you just type in RHAVYNN, you will find me for sure.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you, Rhavynn, for taking time out and for coming to Indianapolis and being in our city and seeing some of the talent here in Indy. So thank you so much. We really appreciate that.
It's my pleasure. I had a blast today, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.